Hello and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Chrislyn, and today's video we are going to be talking about my wedding regrets, or like things that went wrong. It's kind of a follow-up video to my last video, which is more of a wedding recap and just all about our wedding day. And I thought I would talk about like a few of the things that went wrong overall. Our wedding was so beautiful. I'm so grateful for everything, and really the main things went right. There were like little things, as with like any wedding or any event that you're having, that did maybe I would have seen it go another way. I'm sure there might be things that I look back at a few years in the future and go like, okay, that was more trendy, that was more this, but overall, I was very happy with our wedding. Let's get right into it. Hopefully I remember everything, but one of the things that kind of went wrong was people canceling at the last minute. So funny enough, I had seen a TikTok leading up and it was like, oh, things that might go wrong on your wedding day, or like that will go wrong on your wedding day, I think it said. And one of them was people canceling the day of, a few days before, and I watched it and I was like, that's not gonna happen to us. Like, it's not gonna happen. We're having more of a destination wedding for people. It's not something where you live around the corner and you're just like, oh, I'm not going. So I kind of like wrote that off. I was like, it's not gonna happen to us. And we had that. We definitely had some people canceling last minute. Obviously, you know, it's understandable. Like, we're not upset about it or anything like that, but it is something that kind of goes wrong where you're anticipating people to come, and luckily for the most part our caterer was able to adjust it, which normally at that point you can't, which is why our caterer was so nice to adjust it for that, so we weren't paying for meals that weren't being eaten by people. So that was one minor thing that if you're going through the wedding planning process, maybe just be aware of, and I think maybe just knowing that makes it a little bit less shocking when people do cancel for whatever reason. The other big thing, which is such a small thing, but it was not having Wi-Fi there, which, you know, it was good in the fact that people were unplugged, like they were just celebrating with us. They weren't distracted by like their phones a ton because service just was not good. But I do wish that there had been Wi-Fi for us while getting ready, like just for the bridal party, or even just me as the bride, because I had planned to take like a few different TikToks and videos, and I could not access like the saved ones that I had, and I just took nothing. I had like little clips to put together like a little montage thing, but it would have been nice to do some fun little TikToks. I think it would have been fun while we were getting ready. I mean, it's such a small thing. Like, it did not make or break my day, but it was like a teeny thing that went wrong. And then the Wi-Fi also came into play with my dress getting bustled, because I had went to my final fitting alone and they recorded a 10-minute video, I think, of how to bustle my dress, like a very detailed video, so that I could just show somebody the day of how to bustle my dress. Well, unfortunately, it did one of those things where like it goes into the cloud and starts getting stored on there, so it like didn't stay on my phone in a way. Like, it was just being saved up in the cloud, maybe because it was a longer video. I don't know anything about that sort of stuff, which is why I did not anticipate this, but the video would not download. We were not able to see it, so we couldn't figure out how to bustle my dress. So I got pulled out of dinner for like 10 minutes. We were trying to do it. Dylan, my husband, came running in and he was like, your food is out. Like, I don't want it to get cold for you. Which our caterers did bring me a hot plate so that I had that, which was so nice. But I would have enjoyed that time to be chatting with people, because people were kind of coming up and saying hello to us then, and I feel like it just pulled me out for 10 minutes, and every 10 minutes is so precious. But one of my bridesmaids ran out to like this far end of the parking lot so that she could try to watch the video and get service and learn how to bustle it. So she sat there, studied the video, and came back and bustled my dress. And also our caterer knew how, so she hopped in too. So those were my heroes. So it's one of those things where like things go wrong, but you're kind of like able to make them right. You adapt. Not a huge thing. And then I'd say the last thing that really went wrong, more so than it just being a regret, would be my bouquets. I was first filling out the sheets that you fill out when you're trying to inquire for a vendor. I just didn't know what my bridal party was gonna look like. I hadn't really like thought it through, so I was just putting like 4 or 5, like I was just putting in a number. I think I put in 4 for this one. And I ended up having 5 bridesmaids, and then somehow it was just missed where I never updated it with her. I just didn't realize that, and I only had 4 bridesmaids bouquets arrive, because They walked in, they were stunning. I was just in love with them. And my mom goes over and starts counting them. She's like, Kristen, we only have 4 bridesmaids bouquets. And so we're counting and we're like, okay, and then that one's mine. Which I felt so badly because I was like, I don't want one of them to walk down without like flowers. Like that might just be awkward. And it just, I don't know, it just didn't feel good. Like I felt like I had like forgotten something for them. Oh, it hurt my heart a little bit. But our florist was amazing, and hopefully my venue doesn't watch this because my florist picked a few from the garden and was kind of just like filling in the bouquets. She didn't pull much, but she undid the bouquets, kind of bunched them up differently. They were a little bit smaller, really. You would have never had any idea, and then rebundled the bouquets, which is just amazing. Like that's where anything that felt like it was going wrong, I feel like between my vendor team or just our bridal party, like people were jumping into action for us to help make things right. So it's one of those things where it's kind of just like stories that you can tell afterwards and be like, oh no, that went wrong. The other thing that went wrong at our wedding was our DJ. I gave him a list of like our must play songs, and I did ask because I knew that we were gonna be popping out for some golden hour photos, that he just kind of glimpse, make sure we're not on the dance floor, and not play any of those must play songs without us because we want to be there for them. Obviously they're must plays for a reason. I feel like that's not a super hard request. Like it is pretty easy to quickly glance and see the bride and the groom. Anywho, we were out with our photographer, and just a few minutes in, he starts playing one of the songs. It was actually the Shout song, which is the Bills touchdown song, which is my husband's favorite team, and also a lot of our friends and family love the Bills. So it would have just been this hype, good energy song to be in there with everybody, and he played it, and I was getting photos and I got so upset. That's the only time that I got upset on our wedding day, but I was really upset because I was like, no, I want him to be there for that. And obviously like requested for that, and my husband's like, it's fine, like it's so fine. But I was like, no, it's not. And I don't know if he did one other, but I just started to get all worked up about missing the dancing, so I ended up cutting our photos a little bit short. I was like, I gotta get back out there, which I do kind of wish we had gotten a few more photos because I think the other location would have been cute, but it's okay, we got a lot of beautiful photos. Anyways, we walked back onto the dance floor, and because we weren't out there, it just didn't have the same energy. Like I do feel like the bride and the groom make a big impact on that. And I turned to Dylan and I go, our wedding is lame. And he was like, no, it's not, because nobody, like there were a few people dancing, but as soon as we got out there, everybody was on the dance floor, and we were there for the rest of the night, and it was such good energy. Like it was really good, but it just, that is one of the funny things for me to look back at, is thinking about that. And overall, our DJ was really good. It was just that thing that I was like, oh, he did not listen to me. Besides that, I honestly feel like those are like anything that really went wrong, and then I have more of just like some different wedding regrets. Anyways, we can go into the regrets now, which I feel like I could probably fire off a little bit quicker. Like I said before, I feel like some of these are the ones that are gonna evolve, and I feel like there always is like a tinge of regret. I've talked about this with my friend who also just got married, where I feel like there's just so many options out there, and being in an age where there's social media, you are able to see so many people's beautiful weddings on Pinterest. There's so many gorgeous weddings, and you can imagine your wedding going so many different ways, so many different styles. And so there's always going to be part of you that wonders like, oh, what if I went more that style, or what if I went more this style, what if I did my dress like this? So I feel like I'm always gonna have that little bit of a feeling of, oh, I could have went that direction. But I think I wouldn't say it's like a regret. So anyways, let's get into the regrets. I have them up on my phone, so I'm just gonna fire them off. But regret number one, not putting the Just Married banner on the back of my car. I still beat myself up over this one, and it's such a small thing. Like obviously I keep on repeating that, like these are all small things, but our video of us pulling away would have looked so much cuter if I added that. The issue was I brought it to the space, like I brought it to our venue, but I hadn't strung it together. So at the point that the event was going, nobody's sitting there and stringing it together. Like things are in motion, the coordinator's doing her job, she can't sit there and string it together. So that was kind of a missed thing on my part, I would say, or just having a family member. I could have directed a family member the few days leading up, and I just didn't. So I'm really sad about that because I ordered it. It would have been so cute. Like it was a cute like kind of vintagey banner, and it just, oh, it would have looked so cute. Anywho, I didn't do it. Nothing I can do about it now. Next was our cake. This is just a thing that I feel like I wanted to get a little bit more creative, like have my cake be simple but a little bit unique. So I saw this one on Pinterest. It was gorgeous. It was like buttercream, but the way they did it, it was like little flowers on it. So I can put a picture of my inspo here. I asked the person who was doing our cake if she could do it, and she said, yeah, no problem. And I was like, really? This seems like a little bit complex, but I trusted her. Like, she seemed really good, and she did do a good job. It just wasn't quite like the photo, so I wasn't obsessed with it. I think in hindsight, I probably would have just went with like a very simple cake and maybe just done something more like this, but it was cute. Like, you know, it was good. It just maybe wasn't 100% what I wanted with the cake. That said, our cake was delicious. Like, really one of the best cakes I've ever eaten. Maybe it was just the whole high of that day, but I thought our cake was so good, and our wedding anniversary is in 1 month from now. Our cake is up in upstate New York, where we're from, because my dad took it with him because it would not have made the drive back to Florida with us. So he has it up in his fridge there, and we're traveling early July for another wedding that we're attending, so we're gonna eat our cake then because it's close enough to our anniversary, and I'm really excited, but I am curious if the taste is gonna be like compromised at all. And then next, I would say not having more reminders to go to our guest book, because we had a really fun guest book concept. I think if you've seen the after the final tone, like it's like a vintage phone that you call on and people leave little voice messages. My idea was inspired by that because I thought that was so cute because you can hear from people. It was maybe gonna be something that we would use or like go back and listen to a little bit more than maybe just looking at like a book that had messages. So I was trying to think of like what would we really go back and look at. And so we decided, because we're such huge video people, that we would do a older like camcorder and kind of have it be this home video style guest book where we could actually see people too, in addition to hearing them. And I was really excited about this idea, but not that many people did it. And it really was just that people were kind of like, people moved it around to some different spaces, and I think that just some people got so caught up in the day, it wasn't like an issue of people not wanting to be on camera or anything like that. So I am a little bit sad because we only have a handful, like even people in our direct family, like I don't even know if my mom did it, to be honest, because she was just so caught up in the day. I think the DJ maybe did one reminder, but I think having like a few more, or even like the coordinator saying like, hey, have you done this yet, would have been really nice, because that did make me a little bit sad. Next was not packing a sleeping medicine, like a melatonin or something, because I mentioned this in my wedding recap video, but I did not sleep a lick, like nothing, zero sleep. I just got so in my head about needing to get a good night's sleep that then I couldn't sleep. Like, I put too much pressure on myself. Like, I knew it was a big day the next day. I just remember tossing and turning. I've never had a night like that. It was just like Christmas morning on steroids. But it ended up being fine. I was fine. The excitement of the whole day carried me through, but that is one thing for my friend who was getting married. I was like, pack some melatonin, like make sure you've got it on you. Although my dad did make a good point, because I'm not used to having like melatonin or anything. So he was like, if you had it, sometimes you feel kind of like drowsy the next day. So, you know, maybe it's a good thing. I just let pure excitement and adrenaline just carried me through. Adding on to the guest book, I did see a really good guest book concept after our wedding, and if I could go back, I maybe would have done this instead. I did love my other idea, but I saw somebody who is high school sweethearts, which me and my husband are high school sweethearts, and they did a yearbook guest book. So they had like photos of the people who went, like a little headshot, and then people would go and like sign by it. Oh, that would have been so cute. If you are high school sweethearts, that is such a good idea. If I could go back, I think I would do that. I really do, because how cute is that? I would have put together a little yearbook. If only I'd seen it sooner. Another regret was eyelashes. So I don't know, I wanted to do my own makeup because I did want to feel like I looked like myself. I had gotten my makeup done for prom before, and I just didn't feel totally myself, and I wanted to look like myself on my wedding day, which my friend ended up helping me do most of it because she's really good at makeup, so that was really nice. And I am happy that I did do my own makeup because I do feel like I did look like myself. My only thing that I wish that I could have done differently is practice putting on fake eyelashes, or maybe gotten eyelash extensions beforehand, because I felt like that was the one thing that was kind of missing. Like my eyelashes just, they weren't there. I would have loved a fake lash. I tried for my rehearsal dinner to put them on. I don't know what made me think that the day before my wedding I would try to do it for the first time, but I did, and I was just having issues with it, so I was like, okay, scrap it. I thought I was gonna be able to figure it out then to then do it the next day. I did not. So that would be one thing that I maybe would have approached differently, but I still felt pretty. And then finally, I feel like this is one that like anybody would put on their wedding regret list: not getting to talk to more people. I feel like it's one of those things where you're just never gonna have enough time on your wedding day to really connect with people. A lot of it's just gonna be like, congratulations. You're just going, thanks, thank you, oh, you look beautiful, thank you. I like to have like more in-depth conversations with people, so I just like felt bad that I couldn't talk with them more and like connect with them more, but I feel like that's just expected. So I am happy that we did a wedding weekend, because I do feel like in that way I was able to get around to more people and really get to have that time with people that way. But I do wish that I could have talked with more people. Like if our wedding could have been in the morning and we just stretched out all night long, I feel like maybe that would have been better, but I don't think people would have wanted to spend their entire day that way. Hopefully I remembered everything, but that is the conclusion of my list of regrets. So if you're wedding planning, hopefully this can just, I don't know, make you aware of some of the things to anticipate, just things to think about. I know that I watched some of these videos beforehand just to know like, oh, this person regretted that, I should keep it in mind. Like, how do I want to go about that? And even just normalizing that things are gonna go wrong, I feel like that helps too. I feel like the major thing that didn't go wrong was our weather. We had beautiful weather, so I'm thankful for that. I didn't spill on my dress. I didn't have like an allergic breakout, so I feel like overall my list is so like whatever. But if you're just watching this for pure entertainment, hopefully it was entertaining for you. I think this is gonna be the conclusion of my wedding videos. We'll see. If there's something else that I want to chat about, I will, but I do think for now this is gonna be the conclusion of my wedding videos, finalizing the recap. If you do want to just watch my normal recap and haven't watched it, you can check that out. I should have some more videos coming soon, kind of some summary videos I'm hoping to record, because it is full-blown summer here in Florida. But like always, thank you so much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and stay tuned for my next video. Okay, bye! Oh, my bundle of joy.